Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanton is going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. My God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Well, we are back from the All-Star break. Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you all tuning back into the second half of the season here. The New York Yankees are back. And they're back in a fashion that is of winning. You know, they couldn't get the sweep against a really bad Atlanta Braves team, who was my World Series pick, or at least my pick to come out of the National League before the season. But they couldn't get the sweep. You know, some rough moments in this series. Like the first game and a half was very scary. Big picture-wise, it was looking scary. I was getting concerned. Made a couple of social media posts that I quickly erased. That type of scary. You had some rough first series back from a couple of guys. Jazz Chisholm ran into some tough luck. A rough week in Atlanta. Some rough at-bats this series from Jason Dominguez. Very bad. A rough series really from every single Yankees pitcher, starter, or reliever not named Marcus Stroman, really. And a rough series fundamentally again, which if I can muster up the energy to talk about that, I will. But the Yankees figured out a way to win 2 out of 3, right? They dropped the first game. They come back in what was maybe the best win of the season in game 2 on Saturday. And then today on Sunday, they take the final game before they head to Toronto. But yeah, it was a good series from the lineup collectively. There were some contributions all around. Stanton went off. Volpe continues to prove the theory right that when he gets any type of rest, he comes back productive after that. Just goes to show that what I've been saying, they need to sit the kid more. Proves that right. Judge ties Alex Rodriguez for 6th place in franchise history on the home run list, 351. That's freaking crazy. Paul Goldschmidt continues to hit baseballs consistently. So, some good series from a couple of guys. But let's talk about it where the Yanks take 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. Again, against a bad Braves team. But, you know, they couldn't figure out a way to win the first game. On Friday, they lost 7-3. Coming out the gate in the most underwhelming way you can. The Yankees throw Ian Hamilton out there, the righty reliever, to open the game against the righty ace, Spencer Strider. The Yankee bats did not do much. 3 runs in total on 8 hits. They did not hit a home run. 4 walks, 13 strikeouts. They grounded into 1 double play, and they were 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. But against Spencer Strider, they did not score on him in 6 innings. Understandable, because he's filthy. He's got a really good slider, good fastball that spins a lot. To play off that slider and vice versa, he's a tough pitcher to hit. And against the Atlanta bullpen, the Yankee lineup came to life for 3 runs in 3 innings. All 3 of those runs came at the top of the 7th when the Yankees scored 3, obviously. Stanton with a pinch hit double, 2-run double off of the lefty Bummer to put it 7-2, cuts it to 5. And then Cody Bellinger rips an RBI single against the lefty Lee to put the deficit to 4, 7-3 Atlanta. Bellinger goes 1 for 4 with 3 RBI. Stanton, just that one pinch hit RBI double, 1 for 1. Rice goes 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Vivas goes 1 for 4 with a walk. Grisham goes 1 for 3 with a couple of walks. And that was your offensive production. And then you get to the mound. 1 inning, 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 of them doubles, a walk, no strikeouts, 26 pitches, and the loss for Ian Hamilton. It was a very disappointing way to start the second half, just seeing how this was punted from the get-go. Now, initially, I was pissed off and blaming Boone, and I get if you're still doing that, but Fried was battling the blister injury at the time. Rodon had just pitched in the All-Star game. Cam Schlittler had an injury going, and they were trying to line it up so that you could have Fried and Rodon for that Toronto series coming up. So, being that the Yankees did respond with 2 straight wins after that, it makes it better. But Ian Hamilton was bad. He continues to be awful for the Yankees. Bottom of the first inning, game ends right there. I mean, you get Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna with back-to-back RBI doubles to make it 2-zip Atlanta. He hangs a slider or Slambio to Matt Olson, and then he goes 95, but middle of the plate to Ronald Acuna, who punishes it. Later in the inning, he walks Murphy, lost the zone with his 2-seamer, and then Albies hits the sac fly to put the Braves up 3-0, and that was really it for Hamilton. It was not good. The bullpen, because Ian Hamilton opened, the bullpen won 7 innings, 4 runs. Garcia, this guy Garcia, who looks like some random from off the Bronx, off the streets, called up just to pitch this game and eat some innings. Then they were going to DFA him, and they did exactly that. He was awful. 2 2/3, 3 runs, 5 base runners. He gives up the Albies 3-run shot in the 3rd to make it 6-0. Efros came in after him. He was not great. An inning in the 3rd, 1 run on 3 hits. Bottom 4, he gives up the RBI single to Baldwin to make it 7-0 Braves. And to cap this Yankees game off in the bullpen was JT Brubaker, who, you know what? I'll tip my cap to him. This is his first time getting a salute this season because I thought he was the best Yankee reliever statistically this series. The only serviceable arm in this game, and really one of the very, 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 very few serviceable arms coming out of the bullpen this series. He goes 3 innings, no runs, 1 walk, strikes out 4 in this game, and helped save a couple of arms there. So good for JT Brubaker with the 3 scoreless innings there on Friday. But that was your loss on Friday, 7-3 Braves. Saturday, the Yankees win arguably their best game of the season with a 12-9 win over the Braves. You had the righty Will Warren take on the lefty Joey Wentz. This was a roller coaster of a game. It was fun. It was stressful. It was maddening. But yeah, it was a roller coaster for sure. Bottom 3, Harris hits the home run. Bottom 4, Albies and Allen. Albies hits the home run. Allen singles. It's 5-0 Braves. But top of the 5th comes Anthony Volpe, goes yard to make it 5-2. Bottom 5, Albies singles to drive in a run, 7-2. Top 6, the Yankees then respond again in big fashion. Jazz Chisholm singles, Grisham with an RBI, Volpe with a sac fly RBI, Wells with an RBI. It's 7-6. All of a sudden, the Yanks are within a run. Bottom 6, they give it up again because that bullpen. Olsen singles in a run. It's 8-6. Bellinger makes it 8-7 in the 7th inning with the home run. And then Volpe ties the ball game in the top of the 8th inning with his second home run of the game. And then you get to the top of the 9th inning when the Yankees have a chance to really break it open, and they do exactly that. Trent Grisham at the plate hits a grand slam to right center field to put the Yanks up 12-8. In the bottom of the 9th, the Braves do get one garbage time run to make it 12-9, but what a performance from the Yankee bats here. To score 12 runs in the final 5 innings like that is super impressive. So they finished with 12 runs on 11 hits, 6 extra base hits, 5 walks, 1 sac fly, grounded into 1 double play, only struck out 5 times, and they went 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They did not score in 4 innings against Wentz, but again, they mashed that Atlanta bullpen with 12 runs in 5 innings. Paul Goldschmidt going 2 for 5 with a double. Bellinger 2 for 5, the home run. Judge 1 for 4 with an intentional walk. Stanton 1 for 2, 3 intentional walks. One of them an intentional or 3 walks. One of them an intentional walk. Jazz goes 1 for 5 with a ribby. Grisham goes 2 for 5, a grand slam, double, 5 RBIs in total. Volpe goes 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs because he did get the sac fly. And then Wells 0 for 4 with an RBI. Great offensive performance. On the mound in this game was Will Warren, who finishes with a line of 3 2/3 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits, 2 homers, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 78 pitches, and the no decision. Started well, bottom first, he was 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Bottom second, he rolls a ground ball double play, gets a strikeout. And then the wheels fell off because it's been the same issue where he has trouble finishing off lefties. Lefties remain an issue for Will Warren, and it's because he's got no off speed to get lefties, right? The sweeper is obviously for righty bats, and he's not confident in his changeup or curveball yet. He's going to have to develop that changeup so he has something that breaks in the opposite direction. But bottom 3, he makes a mistake pitch to Harris, who's a lefty, hits the solo home run on a hanging curveball. And then bottom 4, he completely implodes, where the lefty Baldwin hits a 2-out double on a hanging sweeper. He walks Murphy. He was outside the zone with everything to him. The lefty Albies with a 3-run shot. He gave him 92, middle of the plate. Alvarez with a single, 94 over the plate. The lefty Harris walks on 11 pitches. He could not find an out pitch to him. And then Allen with an RBI infield single, and that's when Will Warren was pulled for Tim Hill. So not a good outing for Warren. The rookie inconsistencies continue, but it was good to see the swing and miss back for a couple of innings there. That's been lacking in his most recent starts, so that's the lone positive really was those first couple of innings. But he was bad. The bullpen goes 5 1/3, 4 runs, so not great. Hill wasn't good. Efros wasn't good. Lasagna continues to be an abomination. Luke Weaver did a great job. And then Devin Williams gives up a run. We'll talk more about him. And that was on Saturday, the best win of the season. Sunday, today, the Yankees pick up a win to get the series. A 4-2 victory today over the Braves. You had the righty Stroman starting against the righty Holmes. The Yankee bats score 4 runs on 9 hits, 2 of them extra base hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and they were 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Against Holmes, they scored 3 runs in 6 innings. Top of the first, Aaron Judge with a solo shot, and then you get a Goldschmidt RBI single to make it 2-0 Yankees. Judge finishes 1 for 4. Again, he ties A-Rod for 6th place. He also walks later in the game. Top of the 6th, Yorby Vivas gets hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to make it 3-0 Yankees. Ends up being a pretty big run. Vivas finishes 1 for 3 with the RBI there. And then against Dunning, who was the only reliever to pitch for Atlanta, the Yankees get 1 run on him in 3 innings. And that was on the top of the 7th. in a 2-run game. Jazz Chisholm with an RBI double in the gap to put the Yanks up 4-1. Jazz finishes 2 for 4. Stanton goes 3 for 5. And that was your offensive production. The bullpen, 3 innings, 1 run. Ian Hamilton and Tim Hill pitched clean innings. Again, Devin Williams allows a run in his second straight appearance. But you go back to the starting pitcher, Marcus Stroman, and I'm going to tip my cap to him for the first time this year. So, good for Marcus Stroman. He goes 6 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. He gave up a bomb to Matt Olson, but that was really it. No walks, 4 strikeouts, 95 pitches, but he gets the win. The Yankees absolutely needed him to come through to make last night's win matter. And confidence was a little low because it's Stroman, but he came through. And he was very, like, when Stroman's at his best, you want to show somebody what he did today. This was vintage Marcus Stroman, staying on the edges and nibbling. That's what you want him to do. He wasn't nibbling to a point where it was completely waste pitches, right? That's the big difference. He had his location, so he was able to nibble effectively. Effective nibbling is what you want from this kid. Staying away from the barrel, didn't come inside or give in. He was setting up Ben Rice outside, who was catching today, set himself up on the opposite side of the rubber a lot so he could get that outside part of the plate. And he did a very nice job of doing that, elevating eye levels, high, low, mixing up his pitches, right sinkers to righties, splitters to lefties, off-speed heavy, staying away from the four-seamer, slurves, sliders, cutters, etc. Did a very nice job of doing that. And he's been good for the Yankees since returning at the end of June. Ever since coming off the DL, 21 innings, 7 earned runs. That's a 3 ERA. So that's all you need. You just need Marcus Stroman to get through the regular season when his name is called. Make whatever amount of starts you have left on this team. Get us through. Help us get this division. Keep us in games. Can he do that? I don't know. I don't think he has the stuff to consistently do it. But again, it's been nice to see him pitch better recently. And that's it. The Yanks take 2 out of 3. So we're going to head to a quick break, and then we're going to get back, and we're going to tip our cap to one more Yankee before we dive into some things here on the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back on episode 885 of BD4.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going.
Okay. Welcome back to the show. Episode 885 of the podcast. I appreciate you all tuning into BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA on occasion. Yanks every series, Knicks every game. So, we've tipped our cap a couple of times. First time to Brubaker this year. First time to Marcus Stroman this year. And we're going to tip our cap for the third time to Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is starting to put things together. And it's been for a bit now. He's been hitting, but in this series, he goes 5 for 8. That's a .625 average. 5 hits, a double. Could have had a couple doubles if he didn't hit the ball so hard. And he had a pair of legs. 3 walks, and that equates to a 1477 OPS. He has been hammering the baseball. I mean, he's on everything right now. In the middle of the barrel, that ball is lining off the bat. Shots. I mean, 110 plus exit velo every time. So the power is clearly still there. The bat speed is as good as it's ever been. He's ripping the ball right now, and that's great to see. That's always been him. What I really like seeing from Stanton since he's returned from the DL, the at-bats have been great. You know, he's consistently getting on base with base hits the other way. He's taking his walks. He's getting pitched around because he's still got that power. But he has a presence up there, and he's bringing a really good approach. And it's great to have that because last regular season, at least, Stanton had the power. The OPS numbers were there. The power numbers were there, but he was not getting on base. The on-base percentage was in the high twos. Very awful. His on-base percentage is like 383, I want to say, so far this season. Short sample, but it's great to have him back as the Giancarlo Stanton we all know. It's great to have that right-handed power back in the lineup to provide a matchup advantage, even if it's off the bench too, right? He's become a much better pinch hitter over the last couple of years. This year and last year combined, he's so far 4 for 9 with 3 doubles, a home run, and 8 RBIs as a pinch hitter. So something's worked, clicked, and he's been really productive when they call his name as a drag and drop bat. And I think that's so big for the postseason for this Yankees lineup to now have a bench. I mean, how many years have we been complaining about a lineup that's been so reliant on Judge and there's not enough depth, and you know, you go to your bench unit and it's so short there. In the postseason, it is extremely important to have depth. You know, to have guys, to have 2 drag and drop bats that can come off the bench every night and give you starter level production in that at bat, right? Between Goldschmidt, Rice, Wells, Grisham, Dominguez, and Stanton, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys right there, where 2 of them every single night are going to be coming off the bench for you. Yeah, it's frustrating, but what's the flip side? Again, you know, this is, and I hate to use the mega cliche, it's a good problem I have, but it really is a good thing. Like with Stanton, to have him come off the bench as a lefty masher, and again, being much improved in pinch hit scenarios, that's a weapon. Somebody like Trent Grisham, who's used to coming off the bench his entire career, has become more of a quasi-starter this year, but he's much improved as a pinch hitter this season. He's 4 for 9 this year as a sub. A home run, a walk, couple RBIs. Paul Goldschmidt, I think having him come off the bench is big, being that he's now in the second half of the season and he is an older player. I think the rest can help him get Rice some more at-bats. Having him as a pinch hitter off the bench, like the Yankees can really exploit that 3-batter minimum rule with someone like Goldschmidt. You know, when the opposing team has a left-handed reliever in, because you have to face 3 guys, you can plug in a guy like Goldie, who's batting .404 with a .691 slug against lefties this year. That's huge. And Goldschmidt's a very good situational hitter, right? He's a veteran presence up there. He brings a great at-bat every single time. He's batting .358 with runners in scoring position, a .436 on base in those scenarios. So, you know, so if it's like, you know, you're playing Toronto this week, you have a scenario where it's the 8th inning. There are 2 outs, tying runs on second base. Peraza is at the plate. Chad Green's in, or some righty. Perfect lane for Paul Goldschmidt to come in and slap a base hit to right field, bring in the tying run. You know? Ben Rice, again, the Yankees can exploit that 3-batter minimum rule with right-handed relievers in the game. Ben Rice is somebody who can mash fastballs. He can handle off speed. He's a good at-bat every single time. I do think he needs to play more. Again, he's only made 6 starts this month. And I get that it's a heavy rotation, but for a guy who can DH, catch, and play first, you should find him more time. But he's a threat off the bench if you need him to come in. Jason Dominguez, same thing. If he doesn't start because there's a lefty starter on the mound, he can come in when there's a righty reliever. And he mashes from the left side, and he crushes fastballs. He's got late-game power to bring off the bench. Austin Wells, because he's a lefty who hits lefties well this year, kind of a sneaky weapon for when opposing managers purposely put a lefty reliever in. You can go to Wells. You can rely on him to hit lefties now because he's figured that part out. Wells is, listen, for as much as he's been inconsistent this year, you can rely on Austin Wells to get that run in because he has 54 RBIs this season. He's a run-producing machine. Whether he's going to hit a home run, a liner in the gap, a simple sac fly, a ground ball out, that run's usually coming in when Austin Wells is at the plate with guys on. He's a good situational bat. But yeah, point being, in a postseason atmosphere, you're going to need comeback potential, ability off the bench. And the Yankees have been showing that more recently. They had the comeback a few weeks ago against Seattle. They were down 5-0. They had the Chicago Cubs game 2 Fridays ago. You had big at-bats this series. Stanton with the pinch hit double in Friday's loss. You had Ben Rice draw a walk yesterday, hitting for Peraza, spitting on a bunch of splitters, getting on base. That's a really big tool to have in the postseason, and I think some people are overlooking that. The Yankees have 6 guys with an OPS of 800 or better, and I'm including Ben Rice, whose OPS is like 798. That's a threat. That's a threatening lineup that's very deep. And the fact that they can score in so many ways this year, I think, is also being overlooked. We've talked about this plenty recently, but the Yankees are top 10, yes, in home runs, but they're also top 10 in doubles. They're like 12th in triples. They're top 10 in walks. I think they're first in walks. They're maybe third in sac flies. They're fourth in batting average, first in on-base percentage. Like, there aren't many things the Yankees... And remember, they score a lot using their legs. Their speed on the bases gets them extra bases. They're a multi-dimensional lineup. But, yeah, to get back to the point here, it's their depth that's been really useful, and it's going to prove valuable in the postseason. I really do believe that. So that's great to see. What's not been great to see is the pitching on this team. The relief pitching. But the trade deadline's coming up very soon. It's in 11 days. So it's July 31st on I think it's at 6 p.m. That's the cutoff. You're going to start to see some trades soon. The Yankees usually like to wait till last minute. But I'm hoping for a big deadline. Nothing crazy, but big. And I think people do need to stop saying the Yankees don't have assets and they don't have trade chips. That's become a popular narrative for years, especially from non-Yankees fans. Not that we need to take them serious, because if you're not a Yankees fan, you're a Yankee hater. But, the Yankees have trade chips. Spencer Jones's trade value is at an all-time high right now. The kid's raking in AAA. 11 home runs in 16 games. He had another one today. You have Jones. You've got Schlittler, who showcased himself. You got LaGrange, who's thrown 103-mile-an-hour sinkers. You've got Roderick Arias. You got George Lombard Jr., if you consider him touchable. You got a number of expiring contracts in a very deep lineup that you can move. Cashman does it all the time, where he turns garbage into gold. Right? He turned Cody Poteet into Cody Bellinger. He turned Jose Trevino into Fernando Cruz. Caleb Durbin into Devin Williams. Augustine Ramirez into Jazz Chisholm. Jake Cave turned into Luis Seal, etc., etc. They are always going to have assets. Just got to pay a little bit of attention and stop following people on Twitter. But the Yankees are desperate for a relief pitcher or 3, right? I think 2 or 3 relievers this deadline is a must. Anything less than 2 or 3 relievers is a massive disappointment, in my opinion. The Yankees this season are 10th in blown leads with 22. So a lot of that is from the bullpen. It's a bullpen that is 6th in the major leagues in losses. It's a bullpen that's 21st in ERA with a 4.13. Ian Hamilton's been bad. Jonathan Loizaga's been bad. JT Brubaker, for the most part, has been bad. Fernando Cruz is now hurt. Mark Leiter Jr. is now hurt. Jay Cousins is hurt. Scott Efros is not really part of their formula. There's not enough in the middle there. They need brand name relief pitchers, right? They don't need spin specialists. They have enough of those. They need brand name relievers who can actually throw gas. Give me Duran. Give me Clase. Give me Bednar. Give me Bautista, etc., etc. Give me hard-throwing brand names for once. You know, I like the back end of the bullpen if they can get right for October. If Cruz is ready, if Williams and Weaver are locked down, those guys, Cruz, Weaver, Williams, even Tim Hill as a lefty specialist, I like them. But it's the middle that really needs help. You need some more guys to get there. And to be honest, Devin Williams is starting to scare me a little bit, right? He appears in back-to-back games for the first time, and his velocity's down, and he gives up a bunch of base runners and some runs. So it's a bullpen that desperately needs help. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but it does feel like something big. You know, is it that that Suarez-Gallen package that people are talking about? Merrill Kelly, I don't know. David Bednar and Mitch Keller. You know, is Hayes in there somewhere? David Robertson just signed with Philly, by the way. But the Yankees are going to have to do something decent here. And if they can find a way to have a big deadline, then I'm back in on the team. You know, I'm back in. However, the fundamental screw ups that still consistently happen are preventing me from being 100% back in. That continues to happen every series multiple times, and that's a big problem. You could talk about a good roster on paper all you want. Talent, you can hit the home runs, you can get relievers who come in here throwing 100. If you can't play baseball, you're not going to win a World Series. And the Yankees fan learned this last year in the World Series. It continues to fucking happen. And it's really starting to piss me off. It's like, I don't know what it is at this point. It's what do they teach down below in the system? Their minor league development has to be off. They come up here and they're playing under Boone and they're consistently making these mistakes, which tells me he's not coaching them on this kind of stuff. He doesn't press hard enough when he's asked about it. He takes the overly professional approach, which he thinks is a good thing, but when you get to this extreme, it becomes unhealthy to make excuses for your guys. It's just, you see mistakes like this happen, when Vivas doesn't tag and he's slow getting back to he's slow getting to third base like he was on Friday with no urgency. And when nobody's covering second base on a relay throw from Aaron Judge on Saturday, or when Will Warren doesn't cover the first base bag in the same inning, when Scott Efros gives away 2 free bases that end up scoring because he throws a wild pitch. Like, when guys make these mistakes, the manager of the team, we should be seeing him walk over and giving a stern talking to each one of those guys who make those mistakes. And we don't see that enough. We saw it time and time. We saw it with Torres. But like Vivas, I didn't see it. I hear excuses in the postgame. And even it's just, it continues to happen. Right? At the end of the day, talk doesn't mean shit. What we hear isn't what happens. It might not always be what happens in the clubhouse. But like the fact that it continues to happen is telling me that something's not clicking. There's not enough communication there about these fundamental mistakes. And that's the only thing that's holding me back about this team. If they go out there and have a big deadline, fix the bullpen, it'll make me feel a lot better about this team. So we'll see. They've got Toronto up next. So it's obviously the biggest series of the season. You're in Canada for 3 games to play the Blue Jays. You're down in the American League East right now by 3 games. But you are coming off 2 wins with Rodon, Schlittler, and Fried lined up to pitch this series. Max Fried pitching the later game. But yeah, you got to win. Honestly, I'm never going to take the Blue Jays serious. I'm never going to take Toronto serious as a contender at all. I laugh every time I see them. But the Yankees need to sweep them back, in my opinion. They really need a statement series. I know beating playoff contenders in the regular season isn't indicative of postseason success, but it shows that you have a pair of balls, for fuck's sake. Like, it'd be nice to just show, hey, we have an edge. And it doesn't feel like the Yankees have shown this year that they have that edge, that they can beat out these other top teams. And it pisses me off. It's a very soft feeling I'm getting on them. They lost to the Dodgers. They lost to the Mets recently. They lost to the Cubs. They lost both times to Boston. Earlier in the year, they lost to the Tigers. They got swept by Toronto most recently. So, like, while I'm high on the team and the roster and the potential, despite having a pretty bad year as a team overall, I'm still high on their roster if they make the right moves. I do, though. I need to start seeing an edge. I need them to say fuck you to Canada and show them which team belongs in first place and which team belongs in last place, which is third to fifth place. So, or second to fifth place. So, that needs to happen. I need the Yankees to actually show me something for once. They haven't shown me much other than the Padres series. Who have they beaten? Which made me go, oh, wow, that's impressive. That hasn't been much this year. So hopefully that happens this week. And if they go out there and they lose the series, then I'm back out, like super out, because I need to start seeing them show me a fucking edge for a change. Anyways, let's wrap this up when we return from our final break with our trivia questions. Stay with us. Be right back here on the show.
Want everything BD4 in one place? Head to our website at BD4blog.com. You'll find links to every podcast platform, social media, and even our blog, where we dive deeper into all things BD4. Check it out now and stay connected.
All right. Welcome back to the show, episode 885 of the podcast. The Yanks, solid to start the second half here with 2 out of 3 in Atlanta, Georgia. Get a grand slam from Grisham this series. So we're going to have a grand slam themed trivia question tonight. May or may not have asked this before, maybe a while back, but here's our question for tonight. Who is the only player to hit a grand slam in his first game with the Yankees? Who is the only player to hit a grand slam in his first game with the Yankees? Let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. Folks, I appreciate you all tuning in as I always do. And with that said, we are going to wrap this one up. The Yankees take 2 out of 3 in Atlanta, Georgia over the Braves. Overall, good series, but I'm still not feeling great about this team right now. I need to start seeing them show me an edge against the teams that they need to be. And they haven't been able to do that. Hopefully they'll be able to do that this week in Canada. We'll see what happens. Appreciate you all. See you soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.